Okay, good morning. Okay, now we are learning. So, what is the name of the lesson? The matter around us. Okay, so matter around us. So, we are learning about the particular solutions. Okay, homogeneous, heterogeneous mixtures. And in the last class, I showed you some separation techniques. So, we have some mixture, and two types of mixtures are homogeneous and heterogeneous. Okay, I hope you remember I showed you a salt water solution or sugar water. Okay, sugar mixed with water. Okay, you were not able to see the particles of sugar and water. It's called homogeneous solution. And also in the last class I showed you a small video on sublimation of ammonium chloride mixed with some impurity. Okay, I hope you remember. Yes. Okay. So today we shall see. Ashwin Kumar is asking book inside onwards. So no, only please study the book back question. That is evaluation. So what you have learnt in this lesson is tested by the textbook. It is book back evaluation questions alone. Okay. So even if some questions are coming out of those textbook evaluation questions, please try to answer. Okay, so because you are listening to the class, you have the textbook, you are going through the textbook. Okay, that is complete learning. Okay, fine. Now we shall see three separation techniques and the related videos today. Okay, so the time is 9:43. I will split the session into two. One is a video that will show you the separation technique, and I will explain that before showing the video. Okay, and before all these things, I would like to show you a small demo that is called chromatography. I am sharing my screen. Are you able to see the screen? So please check if you are able to see the screen. Anyone can confirm. Okay, thanks Niranjana. Okay, so this is the fourth technique we are going to learn, that is chromatography. Okay, chromatography. So what do you mean by chromato? It means color. Okay, color, separation of colors. I mean separation of color dyes. Okay, dyes. And particularly we are going to learn about paper chromatography. Excuse me. Paper chromatography. That is, we will be having a tissue paper, and I am going to put some ink, different colored ink, and different varieties of companies. Okay, so I have two different companies. I'm having a tissue paper. I'm going to put a dot in the tissue paper, and what happens to this color, that we will discuss in the next class. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now, see, are you able to see the tissue paper? Yes. Okay, so this is a tissue. So it is a perforated paper. Okay, suppose if you put some amount of ink on it, it will be spread. Okay, it will be spread throughout the tissue. So this is one of the separation techniques that we are going to learn, but it takes some amount of time. Okay, so I have a black marker. What I am going to do is I put a dot. Okay, I will take a note and show you. See, so I am going to put, so this is a small experiment. We are going to separate the inks which are present in this black marker. Okay, I put some dot here. Okay, so this is one company, namely Camlin. Okay, so this is one company, Camlin marker. Okay, I take a tissue paper and I put a dot. Are you able to see the dot? Yes, I have put a black dot and let it spread throughout the tissue, and I will use another company, namely Luxor. Okay, so because different companies are using different dyes, okay, different color chemicals, I'm going to put another black dot so that we can compare the results later. Okay, so I will put another black dot in the tissue paper here. So this should be the sample 2. Are able to see the dot that is spreading through the tissue? I make it closer. Okay, so there are 2 dots, 2 black dots. Okay, so one is sample 1. I take first one as sample 1, second one as sample 2. Okay, so we have 2 samples, and now I take another color of the same company, Camlin. Okay, so this is another company which is using a particular type of dye, and I'm going to put some dot on the other side of the tissue. I'm going to put a dot. So this is the other color, so which is a dye or an ink. Okay, so you can see the ink is spreading through the tissue paper. Okay, are able to see the red one? Okay, so this is sample 1 I take, and sample 2 I take the same Luxor. Okay, so this is 2-in-1, black and red on the other side. I take the other ink, so which is red, the second sample. Okay, I put a dot. I put another dot, which is sample 2. Okay, now the experiment is over. What we have to observe is that how does the ink spread through the tissue. Okay, so you have 4 samples. Okay, first black, one company, another black dot, another company is an ink. Okay, so second color, red color, so one company, 2 is the other company. Okay, so both are looking same. Okay, because they should look like same, because both are red color, both are black colors. Okay, so here at present you will not be able to see anything. Okay, at present you will not be able to see anything, but if you closely observe after a day, okay, you have to keep it undisturbed for a day. Suppose there are some mixtures of other colors in this black or red, that will be separated through this tissue paper. You can see other colors. If they have mixed other colors with this black, you can see those colors. Okay, so I shall keep this undisturbed in my drawer. I will show you in the next class. I will show the result in the next class. Okay, it has to take some amount of time. Okay, so this is about the chromatography procedure to separate colors or chemicals. Okay, so leave it. So this is the experiment of paper chromatography. So that I will discuss in the next class. Okay, so but the experiment we have to do one day before. Okay, so let us see. So how does this ink spread through the tissue? Suppose if there is no color other than red or black, then you can take that the dye is pure substance. It is a pure substance. Suppose if you are able to see some other colors, namely pink or green or yellow or black, like that, no, not black, okay, so green or yellow or pink or orange, like that, then it is impure substance. Okay, so all those colors will be separated by a technique called adsorption, ADSORPTION, adsorption. Okay, so this technique is called paper chromatography, that we will discuss in the next class. Now, so listen to the present discussion on separation of mixtures. One I am going to show you is centrifugation or centrifugal method. CENTRIFUGAL, okay, centrifugal method. Centrifugal method. So what is this? You have a solution. You have a solution. And you see that the solution is not pure. You have an impure solution. You see that there are some solid particles which are mixed with the liquid particles. If you want to separate these solids, that is insoluble solid, okay, that should be insoluble solid with that of the liquid. You can use the centrifugation method where you can separate the solid and liquid, okay. So the solids which are not soluble in this water or some other liquid will be deposited at the bottom. For this, we have a separate test tube. This is not a normal test tube. It is called a centrifugal tube. Okay, this is called a centrifugal tube. Okay, so like this. So because all solid particles will be deposited at the corner of the centrifugal tube. This is called or you can call it as a centrifuge tube. So this is the shape of a normal test tube. Okay, so this is a normal test tube. Normal test tube. So this is called a centrifuge tube. Okay, so you have some liquid and solid, so which is not dissolved in the solution. Therefore, when you rotate this, you have to rotate this. So I will show you the video, then you can understand better. Okay, so you have to use a centrifuge tube to separate undissolved, okay, or insoluble solid from liquid. That is one method. And second method is called solvent extraction. Okay, solvent extraction method. Solvent extraction. What is the solvent extraction method? Suppose if we have two immiscible liquids. Two immiscible liquids. So you have oil and water which are mixed together. Or you have some other solution, say for example, acetone and some other alcohol, which are having two different solubilities. Okay, so one oil or one liquid should not get dissolved in the other one. Okay, it should be a mixture where they are not mingling with each other. Then you can use the solvent extraction method where you have the what is that solution. Okay, you have to have a solution in a flask. Okay, you have to keep those solution in a flask. Okay, and you have a stopper here. You have to add both the solutions here, so which are not soluble in another one in another. Two different liquids are there. So I use some other color. Okay, two different liquids are there, and first you have to separate the first one, the liquid one and liquid two. So they will be, if before the performing the experiment, you have to allow them to settle. Okay, so you have to allow them to settle for about 24 hours at least. Okay, so only then there will be two different layers. Okay, the liquid 2, liquid 1, they are immiscible. That means they are not mixing with each other. Okay, after that, if you have a container here and just to open this tap, you will be getting the first solution. You will be gathering the first solution, and immediately all these solutions are extracted from this mixture. You have to stop it again. Okay, after that you can separate the second one. You have to remove this and you keep the other jar, and you can collect the second one through the same pipe. Okay, these two experiments now you can see in the video. So one is called centrifugal method, another one is solvent extraction method. Centrifugal method is used for what? It is used to separate insoluble solids, to separate insoluble solids from liquids. Solvent extraction method is used for what? It is used to separate two immiscible liquids, just like oil and water. Okay, so let us see let us watch first these two videos and then we shall go for the third method called simple distillation. Okay, simple distillation. Okay, so this is a common name. You know what is a distilled water? You know that distilled water. Have you heard of this distilled water? Hello, please type yes or no or doubt, anything. Okay, because not able to see everyone. Only the chat is our mode of communication. Okay, so if you type something, I would be able to understand where you are. Okay, yes. Yes, distilled water. Okay, yes, Ramanish is mentioning it is used for generators. Okay, so normally even we take distilled water. Okay, for drinking purpose also we have distilled water. Okay, that means you have separated all those salts from the water and you have a pure water. Okay, the water without any mineral. They are saying that mineral water. Have you heard of mineral water? Have you heard of mineral water? Actually, there is no mineral in this water. What do they do is they boil it. Okay, so normal tap water or river water, yes, it is used for inverter also. Okay, yes, distilled water. Fine. That is a chemical cell. Okay, so chemical cells are using the mineral waters or distilled water. Okay, so there should not be any salt dissolved in it. It should be a pure water, H2O. Okay, this is just like rainwater, not sea water or river water. Okay, just like rainwater. It's a very pure amount of hydrogen and oxygen. That is called mineral water. Okay, so while boiling it, you are evaporating the water, and then if you cool it, you will be collecting the pure water. Okay, that will be the second section of this discussion. First, let us watch the first video of centrifugation. Are you able to see the video? So please type yes or no. I just look at the chat. Okay, you are able to see the video. Okay, now one gentleman will be explaining or one person will be demonstrating the centrifugation technique. Okay, so
for this we need a handy centrifuge machine, muddy water, mixture of calcium carbonate and water, 4 centrifuge test tubes. Take the sample of muddy water.
See what he has described. So this is a handy centrifuge machine. This is called a handy centrifuge machine. So it is not a complicated machine, just it will rotate the test tubes. Even you can just tie a test tube. You can take a test tube and have some muddy water. Okay, you can add some muddy water and some chalk pieces. Okay, some chalk pieces, and then you can tie the test tube with a thread, and then if you rotate like this, okay, so just like what is that, the crackers. Okay, so the Diwali crackers, like that, if you rotate through that thread, you can separate the liquid and solid. Okay, so see, this is the small or handy centrifuge machine. Here you have muddy water and some calcium carbonate or that chalk piece solution. Here you have the centrifuge tube. This is the centrifuge tube. Okay, see, please observe carefully.
4 centrifuge test tubes. Take the sample of muddy water and place the test tubes in the centrifuge machine. Now take the calcium hydroxide mixture in the test tubes and also place them in the centrifuge machine. Rotate the machines fast for a few minutes. Stop rotating. Remove the test tubes and observe. We see mud particles and white precipitate.
Can you see the mud particles which are centrifuged because of the centrifugal force? Okay, so this is pure physics. Okay, so for a rotating object, the force which is acting away from the center, before that the particular particle has to make some rotational motion. Okay, suppose if we have a rotational motion or circular motion, we should have a circular motion just like this mouse. Okay, the particle should have some circular motion. Then the particle which are moving away, the force which is acting on the particle which is moving away from the center is called centrifugal force. So because of the centrifugal force, all those mud particles are moving away from the center and they are collected at the bottom of the centrifugal test tube or centrifuge tube.
Have settled in each of the test tubes.
See, the calcium carbonate mixed with water becomes calcium
This is the
hydroxide,
process of
and that calcium hydroxide precipitate, okay, so which is at the bottom of the tube. You can see the pure water on the top.
centrifugation.
Are you able to understand the procedure?
In a
So please-
centrifuge, as we rotate, the substances experience centrifugal force away from the center, which forces the materials against the wall of the tube. The amount of centrifugal force experienced by any object depends on its mass and the speed of rotation. The components of a mixture get separated because the denser particles are forced to the bottom while the lighter ones stay at the top.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Now, so just I was keeping the speaker just towards the mouse. Otherwise, it is difficult to send the audio. Okay. Fine. So we're able to understand the process of centrifugation. Is that clear? So even you can suppose this is the tube. You can just tie something, some knot here, some thread here. You can rotate like this. Okay. So if you rotate this, then because of the density of the solid particle, that will be moving away from the center and all will be deposited at the bottom. Are you able to understand the centrifugation method? Is there any doubt in it? Simply you can also do. Okay. So you have a old what is that, a drug, what is that, some syrup. Okay, so medicinal drug bottle you can take. You just mix some chalk pieces or some mud and you just rotate it just like this. You have to rotate it fastly. Okay, so if you make some fast rotation, you will. So what has Ashwin mentioned? No sir means what is it? Are you able to understand or not? Ashwin, I don't understand the comment. One time you have mentioned yes sir, after that you have yes. Okay, spinning the tube, the water from inside won't fall. Yes. Spinning the tube, the water will not fall. You can try because the water inside the tube will be moving towards the bottom of the tube. Why? You are making some rotational motion. That is what is called centrifugal. The force which is acting on the particles away from the center. Suppose the particles are moving towards the center, only then the water will fall from the test tube because all particles are. So suppose you can take this. Okay. Okay. So this is the open tube. Okay. So this is the open tube. I have some water here. I rotate like this. So it will be rotating like this. Okay. So you could see only the closed end, not the open end. Closed end will be in the center. Okay. Closed end will be in the center. Therefore, the liquid will be moving towards the bottom. Therefore, it will not spill out. Are you able to understand centrifugal method? Okay, fine. Now, the second method is solvent extraction. Now I shall share the screen. So here you have two different liquids, so which are immiscible. So there is some slowness in the connection. Just a minute. I stop sharing and again I will try. So this method will tell you yes. I'm sorry. I just closed the, what is this? Solvent extraction method, isn't it? Solvent extraction. Okay, I had collected some video. Okay, this any video we can take.
Describe the batch extraction in the solvent extraction method. It is the simplest and most widely used method. The method is to be applied when the distribution ratio D is very high. The requirement is simple glass separating flask, beakers, and funnel. Experiment.
See, so the same experiment, okay? So I actually tried to show another video, no problem. So this is again the same technique, okay? You have to have a flask, separating flask. Here you have organic. They have some liquid at the top and another liquid at the bottom. Both are not mixing. That means they are immiscible. Both liquids are immiscible. Therefore, you have to allow them to settle for some amount of time. After that, if you open this stopcock here, you can separate the first liquid and then stop it. You can collect the second liquid. This is called the solvent extraction method. Okay.
In this technique, the aqueous phase containing the solute to be extracted is brought in contact with the immiscible organic solvent in a simple separating funnel. The two phases are shaken vigorously, at least for 10 to 15 minutes, then are allowed to attain the equilibrium. After the layers become clear, the denser liquid is withdrawn by opening the stopcock of the funnel. Once the denser liquid is separated, then lighter layer is also separated out. If you like this video, please click.
Okay. Okay. So are you able to get the point? So when you have two immiscible liquids, I showed you yesterday in the last class, I showed you a mixture of coconut oil and water. So water being denser, that was at the bottom. Coconut oil, which is less dense, which is having lesser density than water, that was on the top. Okay. First, you have to separate the first liquid, and then you can close the stopcock, and then you have to separate the second liquid. And regarding the centrifugal method, there are wide applications. So this is not just a simple method. Okay. So this is having very wide application. So the experiment was very simple. Okay. But it is used in the separation of cream from milk. Okay. You might have known the oven industry and other milk industries. Okay. Dairies. Okay. So they are using the separation technique, centrifugal technique, as well as in the medicinal lab technicians. Okay. So medical lab technicians, they are also using this centrifugal tube to separate some solids and liquids, etc., for their reports. And particularly, it is used in the separation of cream out of milk, centrifugation method. Okay. And the solvent extraction method can be used to separate two immiscible liquids. Okay. By chance, if they are mixed, you can separate them. And also some of the liquids, they are mixtures of these immiscible liquids. Okay. So you can also extract them and then you can separate them. Okay. Was that clear? So we shall see the next technique, namely that simple distillation and fractional distillation and chromatography in the next class. Okay. Thank you all. Yes, you can. Ram Harish is asking, can we separate sugar from milk? No, not possible. You will not be able to separate milk from, you will not be able to separate sugar from milk because it is a homogeneous solution. That sugar is completely dissolved in milk. You will not be able to separate it. Okay. But you can separate if there are some stones which are added to milk by chance, you can separate them because they won't be dissolving in milk. Okay. Thank you all.